years ago, and the library was built 36 years ago, but we don't have all the statistical data from back then. So giving 20 years as kind of a benchmark, we tried to look at what was happening 20 years ago versus what's happening today. And our library is now home to 30,000 more physical items than it was 20 years ago. Our collection has more than doubled if you think about ebook selection for patrons, but in our library physical building, we have many more items than we used to have. And the usage of that collection has grown by 45% in the last 20 years, which I think is amazing when you consider that the last 20 years has seen the rise of the personal computer, the rampant use of the internet, ebooks, the Kindle, mobile phones, all of that notwithstanding, 45% more is our circulation in 2012 versus 1992. So all of that technology is wonderful, and we tried to take advantage of that and help people use that, but that doesn't diminish the use or the value of the physical library or its use in our community's eyes. And that's also seen by that the visits to our library have increased by 42% in the last 20 years. So again, when you could sit from home and download an ebook from the library, that's a possibility to use the library outside of the building, but we still get a ton of people in our building. An average of 47 people enter the library every hour it's open. And that was last year, and that's up 42%. So
Every hour?
every hour,
It's amazing.
yeah. So, you know, it's a well-used and well-loved asset of the community. And, you know, the use of the space has changed. 36 years ago, who would have envisioned we would have 24 computers for patrons to use? And we've added new formats with DVDs and CDs and video games and things. And we've made space for them. You know, we carve out little niches of space for that. But every time we do that, it takes away either seating space or study space or space for books, which are still being used in great deal. So that's, you know, some other things to consider, as well as the meeting space. In the 70s and early 80s, libraries were not home to the kind of programs that we have now. Last year, we had 343 programs with over 10,000 people attending programs at the library. Sometimes we get crowds of 200, and we have nowhere to put them. So our meeting space is not adequate. We also let other community groups, nonprofits, and government agencies use our meeting space, and we often have to turn them down because we simply don't have anywhere for them to go. In addition to that, the library building is not just the library building. We are also home to the information systems department or division. So in 1997 and 98, 3 offices were added into the back of the library to house our IT guys that we love having in our building so much. But this, not only did this take away the storage space of the library, but it also created offices where they have no room to grow. They don't have secured storage or a workroom or any flexibility to grow as the technology needs of the city grow. So that's another issue that we deal with as well. So just a review, like I said, of why we're doing the space needs study in the first place. We are facing several challenges in that area. So we did some interviews with several architecture firms after we got back all the proposals from our RFP. And we interviewed Leo A. Daly, Ali Poirier Macchiato, and Clark Anderson Partners. And the recommendation from, we had city councilmen on the committee, we had library board members, we had city staff people all there. And the recommendation from that committee was to negotiate a contract with Ali Poirier Macchiato. So, any questions?
I guess I just wanted to, I mean, in my time on the council, I appreciated the library previous to that time and even more so now. How our library has looked statewide, it's held in very high regard. And the other thing is, a couple things. The weed rate that we weed our books out is considerably higher than most libraries in the state,
Yeah.
just because of lack of space. And the other thing is, I saw a breakdown once of people outside of Norfolk proper that use our library. It's not just citizens of Norfolk.
That's true.
It's, I think the amount was 35 to 40% are from outside the city limits that use our library. So it's a great asset to the community and a great asset to Northeast Nebraska.
Yeah, thank you.
I will tell you that thank you, Josh, looking forward to the study, because as you go out there and do a little research about what's going on in the libraries of today versus the libraries of 35 years ago, it's amazing, the transformation. And how much more the community is brought in and how much more is available for, more like a community center. So it's going to be very exciting to get that study back, and I'm looking forward to these folks doing a great job for us.
Thanks, Jessica, for being here. Can you reiterate, you said almost 350 programs at the library
Yeah,
with
300
10,000 users?
Yeah, 343 programs last year, and the total attendance was 10,407.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's incredible. And as a parent with young children, I know that you often sponsor a number of events for families and that there's limited space. And so I think this is an important first step to examining how we can improve an important community institution. So thank you for your work.
Anyone else with comments or?
I just want to say that I was on the subcommittee that met with the board and stuff, and all three firms were very creditable. They all had good features. The one that we selected had a certain feature that we think will help Norfolk a lot. So it was a tough decision. All of us had a long discussion about all the groups, but this one kind of stuck out, so that's why we went with them.
Okay, point well made. Councilman Faust, he's absolutely right on. It was a tough decision, but I think it was the right one. So thanks for your efforts. Thanks for being here.
Yep, thanks.
Okay. If no other questions or comments, let's vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative.
All right, and let's see, we've covered every number 19 now, right? Correct. All right. Last but not least is discussion and action and authorization for the mayor and councilman. Now, wait a minute, what are you doing to me? Okay, right over here. Thank you. For the mayor and Councilman Coy, Merrill, Langy, and Clausen to meet with the SID number 1 board members regarding sewer issues involving the city of Norfolk and the SID 1. And I would ask for a motion to go into closed session to discuss potential litigation and negotiations regarding the sewer issues involving the city of Norfolk and SID number 1.
I'll make the motion, Your Honor.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion with a second. Please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative.
Okay, the motion carried. The closed session is to discuss potential litigation and negotiations regarding sewer issues involving the city of Norfolk and SID number 1. We will go into the training room for this closed session.